BTS, Map of the Soul 7, though. Is this good, Dave? Is this good pop
I
music?
I did think this was good. Long, lot of songs, probably too many, definitely too many, but there's a lot of I think BTS at their strengths on this fourth full length Korean album from the biggest band in the world.
And we did review a couple of the songs on here. What, five? I think of the.
Yep,
You said five of the seven,
five of the seven from the EP last year, Map of the Soul Persona. They
including
liked all of them so much they brought them back again.
um, and some of these songs are really good. Like Intro Persona, which I actually think we put on the one last year. Sounds like a Beastie Boys knockoff, but it's fucking great. And I liked a lot of the new songs too. I think that there's some very like you said, some very BTS like songs. They definitely are making songs for for like Anthem Stadium tours,
Yep.
but
Selling
can't
those
blame
shits
them.
out.
Get your money.
Well, they're getting it. Don't you worry. These guys are fucking rich as hell now.
Yeah. And they're becoming just more and more ingrained into American popular culture and also world popular culture at this point. So it seems like you liked this album. What did you like about it so much?
Yeah, I mean, just thinking about it, I think we first talked about BTS at the end of 2018. And that was, 2018 was when they really started to make real true inroads here in the US and have since become the most successful Korean act in the Western world ever,
Mm-hmm.
just thinking like last year they're on SNL, which is a big landmark moment. They performed a little bit at the Grammys, as part of Lil
Mm-hmm.
Nas X's medley. And they've been in the Grammys a few times now. So just like kind of, witnessing the meteoric and continued rise of BTS. Again, I think something we always like to point out and think about is at the end of the day, it's about the records, right? That's what matters. That's what lasts. And BTS has already had a lot of good stuff, partially because they've made so much music over the years. I think even like their diehard army stans would tell you that they've gotten a lot better throughout the years. So what do we want from BTS now when they're already so big, so successful, and basically hit every milestone they can? I think this will be their fourth number one when this does like 300,000 or whatever it's going to do first week. Like
Crazy.
They're doing everything they can, right? So what do we want for them? Because soon they're going to have to do their required military service that is required of all South Koreans. So like all K-pop acts, they will have to go on a hiatus, whether they like it or not. That's coming up. I'm not sure how soon it is, but everyone's talking about it. And I think for this, Map of the Soul 7, I just want to hear BTS, I think, just kind of do more of the versatility because they make so many different kinds of songs, right? They have the kind of the pure rap songs, which are bangers. They have the stuff that's really electronic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like think of like one of their big hits, Mic Drop, has that Stevie Aoki remix, right? And then they also do a lot of the ballads. I mean, there's 7 of these dudes. They all have their different strengths. I think what was cool on this is and obviously I don't speak Korean, neither do you, so I can't really connect with the lyrics, and also I don't understand the sentiment a lot. But I can get the vibe, and I think I'm starting to recognize more of the voices in the group. Still not don't know them all, but on this, I think seeing everyone get like different moments to shine and go to their strengths, I think was really cool to me. Like someone who like Suga in particular, he had that moment on Halsey's album. On this album, they do a lot of solo tracks, which I think was a really cool choice. And they're also bringing in more outside people. Like I think one of my favorite songs on this, so there's a lot of songs. I really need to listen a few more times, just because there's so much to digest, and because they make different kinds of songs, you kind of lose track of some. But I think one of my favorites, one of the strongest ones, is "Louder Than Bombs," which is actually like a ballad song. Yep. That's notably co-written with Troye Sivan, of all people.
I was gonna say
that was cool. Yeah, I thought that song was really successful, because even though I don't actually understand exactly what they're saying, I totally get what vibe and energy they're going for as like a sad song, and that's gonna kill it in the slower moments on the arena tour.
Yeah,
So even though it's long, like I think there's a lot of like great moments that you want from like modern leveled up BTS at the top of their powers.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, I think when especially as these guys are thinking about this hiatus coming up and just getting that money, they ultimately they're gonna make songs for the live X's. They sell out MSG every single time, multiple shows. They sell out stadiums when they do them, multiple shows. It's the demand for them is insane right now, and they're all incredibly talented. I don't really think there's many bad tracks I've heard from them in listening, and like you said, we don't know what they're saying half the time, so that they could be saying stuff and it doesn't make any sense, and we're like, okay, well, these lyrics could be better, but overall,
you know what I started doing? It's really good help. Turn on closed captioning on YouTube and put on their videos, or just put on like the tracks, and you can just read it along at the pace that they're rapping or singing. And I was like, this is what people do all the time. I just don't really do this that often.
Yeah.
so I did it for a little bit, and I was like, oh wow, okay, yeah, okay, cool, yeah. This is as we all expect. This is a coherent ass song. How about that? It's almost like music is international. Who would have
thought? Yeah. Overall, this is good, and overall, BTS is a monster. They're just what biggest act in the world right now? Would you say?
I think that's certainly right there. Who in terms of boy bands, obviously the biggest. Korean acts, Asian acts, obviously the biggest. Pop group. Who is bigger than these guys in terms of consistent demand, output, quality too? Like I really I can't say. I mean, they did this last year. It hasn't stopped yet. Like they have the record for the most viewed YouTube video in the first 24 hours with Boy With Love, the Halsey track. Mm-hmm. It's like 67 million or whatever it is. It's absurd. They set that mark a year ago. It hasn't been broken. And they set the mark beforehand with, was it a Fake Love or whatever? So
it's probably like T Swift, Beyonce, them, Bieber, maybe?
I think they're bigger than Beyonce.
Crazy.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think, like, does Beyonce have quite the international, worldwide appeal as some of the other people? I'm trying to remember.
I don't know.
I think that's kind of the key. Like, we have people and obviously thinking of like status in the U.S., we're just going to default people that are a little more established, like Taylor. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, you can look at some of the stats too in terms of like demand for ticket sales and the pace and volume of the resale market for their tours. But like, they compete and do bigger than people like Ariana, who another person is kind of at the top of the game. So, yeah, I think, I mean, in terms of like biggest band, call a pop band, a boy band, but biggest band, biggest group. I mean,
don't think it's even close.
No, it's not. I mean, like I think some legacy bands, rock bands, might like make more money on their tours because they just kind of pull in bigger fees. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's got to be BTS, man. It's wild. It's cool. Like, I think we talked about this before, but like, they haven't made any concessions with who they are, what they do, and they just got accepted and in the Western world. And that's awesome, and that's what we want. And we're seeing that more from Latin music, although Latin music is not being as concession-free as someone like BTS. I think there's still room for that, more growth there. But yeah, with BTS, man, they just they are who they are, and it's working over here too. And that's pretty great to see, because that was not the case, and no one thought that could happen. So just trend setting, Did you have any other songs that stood out to you? Soul 7.
Let's
so many to pick from, of course.
I thought Moon was very upbeat.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I thought was made to be a stadium anthem.
Video's fucking sick, by the way.
I didn't check it out.
Yeah. They're so talented as dancers, and the choreography they do is so intricate. Yeah. I just can't help but be impressed with that.
Those are the main ones for me. What about for you?
I also really liked UGG. That's just a straight rap banger. I love listening to RM just be like, I'm talented as fuck. Here's how, you know. That was cool. It's kind of like trap. They're talking about it as a trap song, which I thought was funny. And there's actually a moment of that where I was like, wait a minute, that reminds me of Danny Brown of all people. Never thought I'd get that vibe from BTS. So that was cool. I also really like outro ego towards the end. There's like that narration section at the beginning of that track. Thought that was cool. The lead single of this, in terms of new tracks that weren't previously released, was Black Swan. It came out, I think, January. I thought that one was like a little underwhelming. I think Black Swan's a song you point to, and that's kind of like when, again, because they're so successful, have so much output, been doing this for so long, like 7 years or whatever. As long as Black Swan, like, all right, yeah, you've done that before and you've done it better. Mm-hmm. So songs like that, they kind of feel like they lack purpose or urgency to see, because they're just not as good as stuff in a similar vein. So I think that's kind of like that's like what a weak moment is for BTS right now, which I guess is also high praise because it's all
still
relative.
Pretty good. Yeah, it's still pretty good. BTS Map of the Soul 7. It's good. BTS good.